Thank you.
I've always been live.
Right. Now you can start talking already. Yeah.
So they always post the agenda here,
Gotcha.
there. I like to have it here. That's just me personally. And it goes. So,
Yeah, you want to show me your foot back and forth on the little thing about her, sign 65?
so if you're looking for a specific item number, you can click on the item number and it will take you right.
We got to where it's small and screen, so. Apparently when we set the clocks, we set them at 56 minutes.
Maybe they got a bad time,
Village time.
like bar time? No, that's what they were.
Bar time.
Where they back up. So sewer, you talking? Yeah. Just leave the other two. Cause they don't know what's going on.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Being 6 p.m., I'll call to order the Board of Public Works meeting for Tuesday, April 30th. A roll call is taken. There is one member excused. Item number 2 on the agenda is approval of the minutes for the Board of Public Works meeting from March 26, 2024.
Move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion by Hollenberger, second by Engelhardt. Any further discussion on this item? If not, all in favor by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 3 on the agenda is review of water tower site number 2 for the Verizon monopole installation. Brian?
Sure. So in front of you is this has been a long time coming. Peter's here from Terra Consulting Group. He's been working on it too for the last 2 years, probably, right, Peter? So the next, the holdup was, this is, if you remember back, some of you are new on the board, but we had approved the expansion of the railing on top. This is the white water tower out by Cisco, and to allow Verizon and US Cellular to redo the antennas on it. So that agreement has been done. What was happening, Verizon take the antennas off because they lose coverage. So now they need a monopole. So now the monopole's going up, or that's what you're gonna approve tonight, the location. The utility doesn't have a problem with the location, but now US Cellular is gonna take advantage and go on to the monopole too. My understanding is they didn't need it at first, but now they're gonna take advantage of it. So there's a couple things that since it's been a 2-year process, the village is gonna take with the administrators looking at it, the agreements. So that's behind the scenes. That'll bypass you, and that'll go to the to the Budget and Finance Committee. So then the next thing is the lease agreement, the monopole, and Peter will talk more about that. I did receive a letter from him yesterday, and it kind of describes, really it's the duration of, she'll get you, I'll stall here I can just pass my microphone. Okay. So the duration of how long the pole is gonna be there, and then the overall is just to, again, bless or approve the antenna expansion project for the tower, so.
All right.
And I'll let Peter, give you a rundown of what the project all entails.
Perfect. Thank you. Welcome.
Welcome, thank you. So, again, my name's Peter Schau. I'm with Terra Consulting Group. We represent Verizon Wireless. And as Brian alluded, we came to them a couple years ago. The rail, Verizon and US Cellular is mounted on a circular rail at the top of the tank. And it's really small. And so they kind of got all their equipment crammed up there, and they had to add more equipment and change some equipment just to keep up with technological advances. and that rail just wouldn't hold it anymore. So what they're going to do is take the old rail off, and they're going to install a new, bigger rail that will hold more equipment. So it's an investment in the village asset to make it more sustainable for this use in the long term. So we did come to terms with Village, had everything engineered 2 years ago. And then really what happened is Verizon kind of fell victim to budget cycles with US Cellular. They were supposed to take lead on that rail replacement. And so it kind of went on and off and on and off. And then they finally said they're ready to go. And when we do this, it's important to maintain cellular service. It's going to take about, probably 2 to 4 weeks to do that project. You just can't shut off the site. So normally we deploy these, this is a temporary tower. So what that means is it's not going into the ground. As you can see in the drawings, it'll be mounted at what we call a ballast frame. So it's a 20 by 20 steel frame. It's loaded up with ballast weight, and the tower bolts to that. And it's kind of leveled out at the site on gravel and plywood, so there won't be any damage. And then we take the antennas off the tank, we put them on that tower. It keeps the site in service operational while they perform that work, and then when it's done, we move them back. We most commonly use this when you have to paint a water tank, and a community needs us to move off. So in this instance, we're not painting it, obviously, we're just swapping out that rail. So we normally expect it to be about 90 days. But, things can happen, weather, other things, so we just, ask for a consent under the agreement to do this for up to 180 days. So that's pretty much it. If there's any questions, yep.
It's probably in the paperwork you sent, but is there a wind load that tower can take? In other words?
Yeah, so we do have there's a structural design drawing in there, but we also provided calculations to the building inspector with that. So it's been engineered for this, and then we did a structural evaluation to make sure it could hold this load.
I mean, this is the pole that's taken, you use this pole all over the place, right? It's taken down, put back
Yep.
up, and. So
It is
it's a
engineered specifically for this. Yeah,
Typical pole that they use for this.
it's been designed specifically for these types of tasks. It can hold up to I think 3 companies. So it's over-designed in that regard.
And is it going on the north side of the tower? Is that where I'm seeing it on the map?
No, it's on the
East?
side of the tower.
Okay.
We're gonna keep it, at first it was, so the 2 pop huts that they have, point of presence, are on the north side of the tower, so they need access or to get the cabling to them. So we looked at putting it right on the asphalt, and being that it's the 90 to 180 days, we're flushing the mud valves this week or Thursday. So we should be good to go until we flush again in the fall, and then they'll be out of there.
Yeah, and the nice part about it is being able to place on the asphalt is then we don't have to worry about minimizes any restoration of the lawn and all that. Should work nicely.
Wasn't there an easement or something we had to allow to get this done at one point?
Except for payment or what?
For the getting to the tower, something about an easement I thought we had to get from somebody in order to.
Yeah, so that's right, we had the agreement, and that's why I gave that, Jen couldn't be here tonight, so then we were talking, cause the utility doesn't collect the money, it goes to the CDA or the village general fund, so that's why I had her look at the agreement or how much they paid so far, but that's not Peters, that's US Cellular and Verizon, so Jen's looking into it. One thing I hope that after with the discussion, we would actually have the tower repainted, and that's in ongoing negotiations.
So will that mean that the pole needs to stay there longer, or can you do it at the same time while they're putting the rack on the top?
Oh, when the pole's there and right, you're saying that it would coincide,
That's what I was asking.
yeah.
Okay.
So you're looking for 180 days, you said?
Yeah, normally it takes about probably about 3 weeks we'd anticipate to set the pole up and then migrate each company over, so 3 weeks to a month, depending on working and conditions. They're estimating about about a 4-week project on top of the tank, again, with weather and other things. And then it'll take about another, 3 weeks to a month to put them back on. So normally we, estimate about a 90-day working window. And then just for the formality, if for something should happen where that gets delayed while we're out there, or something comes up, we just don't want it to come back and ask for more time. So we thought we kind of put in there 90 to 180 days.
And when would you be starting? I'm assuming.
Well, if we can get through all this, I mean, it'd probably start somewhere, I assume at this point, end of June maybe, right? Is that kind of the,
Right.
By the
I
time
don't
we
know
get-
what you guys are going back and forth.
yeah, no, they'd like to go sooner than later, but I think we did tell them that there's a legislative process,
I'm
with the
hope-
village.
Right, so I'm hoping that the village board would approve it on the 14th.
Yep.
of May, and by, May 20th, they'd be mobilizing the pole and
Yeah.
to start to work.
Just getting a little close to winter for my liking.
That's why
Yep.
I was hoping that.
Could
they
we
would-
stipulate November 1st, which is a little
That
short of
should be
180 days?
Yeah, I mean, we fully intend to be out here well before winter. I mean, there's,
I will make a motion to recommend village board approve the proposal for the Verizon monopole temporary installation with the time period that the project would be complete and the pole removed by November 1st
Second.
Of 2024.
of 2024. We have a motion by Heckendorf, second by Engelhardt. Any further discussion on this item?
I just wanted to ask a question just for clarification. So when you move the antennas off, what's happening to the top of the water tower?
So the existing ring comes off. So we still have equipment up there from Ethoplex, so that will come off too. That was in the original agreement that they would work with us to take off. The whole ring comes off and then it gets expanded. Probably yeah, I mean, if you remember the original plans, it goes out another 5 to 10 feet. I mean, it's a huge ring that goes onto the tower. And that's all been engineered and, so, I mean, the engineering is 2 years old.
yeah, they're basically gonna take the small ring off, they'll cut that off, and then they'll weld and fabricate and weld a bigger mounting rail up. That not only gives more radius, so you can put more equipment on the perimeter. Right now, it's so small, you're trying to put everything on top of each other. And then they'll paint it, clean it up, and then they'll reinstall the stuff.
So to answer your question, so we have limited the number of antennas that are on it. So if they want to extend the antennas or the number, they have to come back to us and say, hey, Verizon wants 2 more or US Cellular wants 2 more, because it's all been engineered, to only have so many antennas on it, so. What helps is we're off of it now. Ethoplex is no longer on it, so there's, that weight is off, so.
And I don't know the history, I don't know if that, painter's ring was originally put in for antennas only, or it was just a painter's ring, cause it is pretty small. I mean, normally, if it would have been installed, for a wireless company, they would have probably put up a bigger one from the get-go.
Yeah, so what he's talking about, the painter's ring, is that when you paint the tower, it's just for the person to hang on, so they don't fall off, but now they do everything by robot and stuff, but then everybody started, so the painter's ring was actually re-engineered to allow these antennas to go on. Now it's been engineered to allow, so the original one, we had it, we actually changed the bolt pattern down on the base to allow for the, so actually, there was bolts put in between the bolts to anchor it into the foundation. So it's able to handle this extra weight on the top of the tower.
And over time, the standards have evolved, so it's almost like I always equate it to like the seatbelts in the 1960s Mustang are no longer around because they've elevated the safety standards, and over time, the same thing with the structural standards. So a lot of times when we touch tanks that we haven't touched in a while, we make changes, we have to upgrade them to the most current standard. And a couple of years ago, that's what happened with a lot of those anchor bolts, when they took a different approach on how they evaluated the structural capacity of the tanks, where they needed to allow the ring add more attachments.
But if you want to go to the blue tower when it's windy, that one sways 4 feet or 5 feet either direction, so it's a nice ride up there.
Yeah.
And the painting project you were talking about is just to restore it to where it was prior, they take the ring off, or are they gonna repaint the whole thing?
Well, that's what we're looking at it, starting to, because this is, when we first negotiated this out, we just had painted the tower. The paint was maybe a year or 2 years old. Now, if you look at it, it's starting to pit in certain areas, so it might be after they get done and the cathodic protection that's on it for the rusting and stuff, so we'll look at that and say, hey, if you're just touching up, those areas, let's look at touching up the rest of it, but then, we have, there's a tower inspector on it, so we're looking at Dixon, you know, there's gonna be another private firm that, both companies will be paying for, and then we'll go through the inspection, and then they'll recommend if we have to paint it or not, or if we can get by patching it, so.
And if we paint it, they don't need the monotower.
Well, we're not talking about a full paint of the tank though.
Yeah, that was my question. Yeah. sure.
Yeah, so we'll see once, I mean, it's starting to pit, so that's in the negotiation.
Okay. So the painting project is to restore it where,
Where it was, yeah,
after they do their construction.
correct.
Yeah, and the rail, what they'll do is they'll paint the rail, and then any of the spots that when they remove it, and then when they welded the tank, they'll
Right.
paint that and patch that, and then Dixon will inspect to make sure that it's all copacetic and.
So there's a lot of cables that, you know, if you, so a lot of it, with this project, we're gonna get rid of some of the cables go up, so it's easier to climb the tower, and so, I mean, they're working on that too, so it'll be an interesting project, so we can get it to have the tower, you know, function as a water tower and an antenna, you know. We put the tower up to supply pressure for our water system, not to provide, you know, cell phone service, so. It's just a dual, and we're making money on it, so we're gonna protect the utility though.
Any other questions, comments, concerns? If not, all in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 4 on the agenda is review of 2024 front-end loader purchase for the Village Street Department.
So Russ Krieger here, Streets and Parks, and then, Brian Ganshaw's here too, and Russ's lovely wife Susan. And, so I'm gonna have Sue talk the whole time.
Okay.
The other two don't know what they're talking about. So, sorry, I had my mic on. So good thing YouTube didn't catch that. So, if you have any questions, so the staff went through, just give you a quick rundown, and then Russ did, and the team, knows more about it, and that's why I wanted to have him here tonight, but, they looked at 4 loaders, had 10 items, and, for each loader, and then you can see the recommendation was the case 62-1 G2 with a metal, plus, Pro plow on it, and, with our, we'll go to that after a while, but there's a video, I think it's really cool. And mostly was, if you remember when we talked about, snow plows, you know, the 5-yarders, we couldn't get a snow plow until, we'll find out this year to get on the list. We're on the list, and when we can actually order one, and we probably won't get one, and if we do get on the list, actually to order, we probably won't get that plow and put it in production of pushing snow until 2026. So that's why we had budgeted, this is ARPA money. And so we're using the snow blower that we haven't removed the snow on Highway 60 for some time. We use it in the cul-de-sacs to load, but this loader, we're gonna keep the other loader for salt and that, the John Deere 1992, great machine, still versatile and stuff, but I mean, this one will be, one that will plow, cul-de-sacs and everything else, so, anyway, do you have anything else to add, or?
If they've got questions, I can try to answer them the best I can.
Okay. Yeah, if you want, I just wanna show you that, it'll be on your screen too. So this is, am I pronouncing it right, or?
Metal plus.
Plus, okay. So you can see it turns on both sides, or there's hydraulics, so you can flip, and so this is their you can see how it flips, and he can back and pull snow away from the loading dock. We don't have a loading dock, but you can see the versatile, oops. There it goes, now it's sinking. So that's included in the price.
Questions?
Looks like it's got a trip edge on it as well, or not? Okay. The only question I had is the warranty, was there a longer warranty you could buy than, they're gonna give you the 3 years and then 3 years of maintenance, if I'm not mistaken. But can you extend the warranty beyond that? Because I assume this is a current emissions engine.
Probably for a price, we could negotiate that and add that on to the top of it. If that's something you're looking at extending, we could do that.
I think that's worth considering with the new emissions on the engine.
So my thing when I first started looking at it was that the CAT is only $1,000 more with 84-month warranty versus a 36-month warranty. And doing a little research, I was told that the CAT is a more superior piece of machinery, the way it's built and things like that, and also resale value. I know we're talking about a 1992 loader that we have, so resale value probably is not going to come into play, but you never know. But I mean, I know you guys did evaluate it, and you had your grading systems and stuff like that. That was my big sticking point, though, was that for $1,000 more, you could have more than double the warranty on the CAT versus the case.
Yeah, and we looked at that. I guess the biggest thing we were looking at was long-term and the first few years of the warranty that we have on the machine. What we see with travel time, fuel, and the filters, oils and stuff like that, that's all included in the price with the case. Whereas any other machine that we have serviced, when they come out, that's at a cost to us. We do have a CAT backhoe now, great machines. They're very expensive and they're very particular of what you use for fluids in them. So we're looking for something that's gonna be a little more long-term, where we can save some money up front.
So even though the warranty is shorter, there's more service included in the price?
Correct, it was,
3-year maintenance plan, is that right?
Yeah.
I believe,
Oil and filters, that kind of stuff.
yeah, it was a 3-year and then a 2-year on top of that maintenance, warranty, which includes all the fluids.
So that 3-year maintenance warranty runs in sequence with the 3-year powertrain warranty?
Correct.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
So you're actually getting probably a double, even though that's not as long in months and stuff, but you're getting a double warranty during the life. And I agree with Russ on that, travel time, they're actually gonna maintain in the first three years, right? 3 years, they're gonna maintain the equipment for us.
How many hours a year do we use it roughly?
That's a great question.
So your 1992, how many hours does it have on it?
We are just shy of 4,000 hours on there.
So not a lot.
Not a lot.
But you're gonna use this differently than you used to.
Correct. We'll have more use out of this machine than we would out of the older machine.
Be more travel time on this one to your cul-de-sacs and stuff, is what it amounts to, right?
Yes.
Right, cause we don't plow, we do bigger storms than that with the loader now, but this one is built to, with the plow that we have, that the video that you keep watching over and over again, you're mesmerized with it, but, this one, the reason why we're getting this is to, speed up the plowing operation and do cul-de-sacs and that, we're getting more roads and we have less equipment, so I mean, this is gonna, with that, the fancy plow that we have, we're able to go around, do parking lots faster and everything else.
Can you use it on a regular street?
Yes.
It's got the trip edge so you could do it. It doesn't look like it's a real heavy duty. I mean,
It's very heavy duty, actually. It's made in Canada.
Okay.
And they're all 12-inch and they all self-ride the pavement. So no matter what kind of pavement you're on, what grade or what taper you have on the roads, it scrapes that much cleaner. And therefore we can use less salt, which is one of our ultimate goals, is we're always trying to cut back on our salt.
and your price on the CAT included the plow as well, I assume, or not?
Yes.
what effect would this have had on the heavy snowstorm we had this year that things kind of plugged up?
It probably would not have beat me up like the last one did.
Will it scrape down better than the regular 5-yard plows?
I mean, this plow,
Yeah.
but you're,
About the same.
but the 5-yard plow, it's a single blade,
Correct.
where this has
Individual cutting edges.
you said every what, foot or
Yeah.
16 inches?
I
or-
believe they're a foot.
So I mean, this actually rides up and down with the road. So I mean, the plow is not one, so it'll be interesting to see how this thing works.
So like the regular plow trucks, it's just, it sits and floats across the road surface, right?
Correct.
With this, can you put down pressure on it?
Yes.
Even with
Because
the
you have
floating
the
cutting
hydraulics
edge, you
of
can
the
do that?
machine,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm sorry.
Even with the floating cutting edge, you said where it follows, you can put down pressure on it. and it
Correct.
affects it.
Yep. It'll help with hard pack, especially with parking lots, cul-de-sacs and stuff, because sometimes with patrol trucks, when we get a heavy snow, we can't go opposite direction. Like, we'd like to try to pull it opposite direction, so we're not burying people, but we can't do that when we got a heavy snow. But with this machine, we'll be able to go in there and make a circle, and you're literally in and out of them in 2 or 3 minutes.
Have you talked to any other municipalities that have a similar unit at all?
Exactly, we did. We went over to Hartford. Hartford's got a John Deere with the same plow on it, and Kewaskum's got a plow on it. And Waukesha is running 3 of them with the case. And they said hands down, they're incredible. They're a time saver.
So I just have to ask, with Komatsu being the low bid, why was that one did it not meet your specs?
There were some issues with visibility. And the biggest thing for us is when we're in cul-de-sacs and in tight places, parking lots, visibility is probably one of the most important things for us. The case gave us everything. Hands down, it had the best visibility in the machine. For maintenance as well, all the visual inspections that we need to do with it. I think that probably stood out for most of the guys. I can vouch for that. We had 7 things that we had criteria on, and we kind of broke it down, and I wrote down 10 of them that we were really looking at. But probably the visibility and the ease of getting in and out of the machine safely was probably some of the biggest things that we looked at.
It's really 2 safety criteria, visibility so you don't run over little kids, and then visibility, getting in and out, safety.
We do a lot of backing, parking lots, and
Not running into things is a good thing.
we try not to, but it's the nature of the beast in our business, so we do have little things here and there that happen, but
A little mailbox,
It's only $50.
right.
That's all you get for it.
Yeah. Any other questions for Brian or Russ? Do you think it would be advantageous to see what an extended warranty would add to it before it would go to Budget and Finance and Village Board?
we can.
What do you guys think?
I think we could make it 2 separate issues, approve this, and then make the extended warranty a separate issue.
Well, I think he's making the point of not approving this until we know, right, Brian? Is that kind of your point?
What was that?
That you're wanting to get that?
No,
extended-
I would look to send it along with our recommendation, just pending getting the extended warranty quote prior to Budget and Finance and Village Board.
Are you looking for, so are you looking for the 84 then, or what, or
For the
the
case.
highest
Oh.
warranty that we?
Well, yeah, we don't, they probably have different time frames that they offer.
I think we
Yeah,
got,
instead of 36, you're looking at 84, or see how much it would cost
Yeah.
to get an extended warranty?
Yeah.
So how many, that's what I'm asking,
Oh.
how many months are you looking at then? Are we trying to match the
Well,
cap then, or,
to Tim's
sorry?
point,
Leading your, let me get back to my microphone.
to Tim's point, I mean, with the emissions and stuff on, because does this have DEF?
Correct.
Okay. I mean, with the emissions and everything on there, there are a lot of potential issues with diesels, the more you run them, it seems that the better they are. Whereas, this thing may not get a ton of hours on it, that you may not see any issues for those 36 months because there's not a lot of use out of it. So, I mean, fire trucks, we see the same thing. You know, you don't use them a lot. Your warranty is pretty much gone and you got 5,000 miles on it. So I would say, yeah, I mean, if we could get, you know, find out what they offer for extended warranty, they probably have set terms for them.
Right. Right. But then okay, so then if we go to 60 months, right, we add 2 more years, but then, are we looking at then, are you gonna do a price point then?
Well, I think we've got 275 in the capital budget, don't we? For the
No, we only had 2, 4. Well, I mean, that's not for this group to
Yeah,
Yeah.
hash out. That's budget and finance and village board.
right.
But, I mean, the only thing we're making a recommendation here is if it's a good thing for us to do or not.
But yeah, we'll see how many, months we can get and for what cost.
When you compare the case and the cat, how many hours do you think the case saves you annually or in a snowplow? Because it may not matter if this is a more efficient vehicle for staff, your costs down the road may not matter that much, because if you're saving 20 hours of labor per snow period or whatever it is, your cost of that and overtime is going to outweigh any of your maintenance costs. So, I mean, is it really saving you that much more time than the case or not, or the cat or not? Is the question. Is it a time saver or is it just a better safety vehicle compared to
Both,
the
I think
alternative?
both machines would probably do the same time-wise.
Okay.
The case just stood out with the safety features that we were looking for. Does that help answer your question?
Yeah.
So I can't really say how much time we're gonna save, much more time we would save either machine,
So functionality wasn't
about
what
the same,
okay.
yeah.
What about staff training time?
Pretty minimal.
No,
They're-
comparison.
In comparison,
If it costs me 20 more hours to train an employee on a cat than it is a case, the more, again, your warranty is moot.
Not when
would
you
say-
could have a $10,000 claim in the future for emission stuff that goes out.
Well, that's the risk you take. I mean, that you're either gonna spend 10,000 of man hours training, or you're gonna spend $10,000 on there. I mean, I just don't know. What I'm trying to get at, Russ, is how worth it is it for the body to second guess what you're saying. I mean, I'm not opposed to the warranty. I'm just trying to find, why did you pick the case as opposed to the cat? Because we could solve this issue by just saying, okay, no, we're gonna recommend the cat for $1,000 more.
But then, if that's good, but going back to your argument then, so then we don't get, fuel, we don't have the other three-year
Well, and that's the
warranty.
other analysis,
Whereas the fuel and the labor and everything else, that goes away. We have to pay that for the cat. The only thing that we get covered for the cat is the powertrain for 84 months.
How many
We
out?
gotta pay for everything else.
What's your interval for maintenance hour wise? How many hours?
typically after
between-
150 hours.
So every 150 hours you service it?
They'll do the first one at 150, they check everything, make sure we have no wear, or anything that's not correct with it, and then it goes to 500 hours.
Okay.
Is there any time period in it? Because if you got a very low use operation, it could take you 4 years to get 150 hours.
Yeah, it's
They
3
could.
years.
It could.
So,
It depends upon, like, winters, nobody can predict that, but projects, day-to-day projects, how many hours we're gonna put on them, it's hard to say.
What's your summer use for the machines?
Loading mulch, and compost in the yard,
Are they both equally the same for that?
yeah.
I usually tell truck customers, yeah, I know it says 10,000 miles on your oil change with your diesel, but if you only put 3,000 miles a year on, get a service in between anyway, because things start to get solid after. a while.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
that's things you might still be doing some things that you haven't gotten to the hour point, and that's it.
Yeah, still gotta dump the oil every year and go through them. Yep,
Those might be questions to ask when you're getting warranty.
yep, I can do that.
So mostly for the case then, thank you. You're gonna hit me, yeah. Yeah, so we're looking at the 3-year, 3,000 hour base warranty to be increased. That's what you're looking at, right? To go up.
I'm looking at the powertrain warranty.
Yeah, that includes the powertrain, I believe.
Right.
Yeah,
So all that little, the footnote there, all that is given you is oil changes, lubes, filters for the first 3 years or 2,000 hours.
correct.
So that runs in unison with the powertrain warranty. It's not 3-year, that's not 36-month powertrain and then another 36-month, 2,000 hour maintenance on top of that, right?
Correct.
Okay.
So for the cat, we don't have that. We don't have
Correct.
the fuel and, so that's why it was really attractive to the case.
But your powertrain is more than double
Correct. And that's what
for
you're asking.
$1,000.
Yeah, so that's what, we could ask them, what, if they would up that to 5 years, the powertrain, but then keep the other one to 3 years for fuel and,
Well, to compare apples to apples, I would see if they can do 84 months on the case.
sure.
Okay.
But in the meantime,
Get prices on that.
I will make a motion to recommend Budget and Finance and Village Board approve the purchase of the case loader, subject to obtaining a quote for an extended warranty for 84 months to match the cat.
Second.
We have a motion by Heckendorf, second by Engelhardt. Is there any, you guys know what you need then on that? Brian, you good? Okay. Any further discussion? All in favor by saying aye?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Thanks for your research on that too. Item number 5 on the agenda is pay request number 1 for the wastewater treatment plant tertiary filters and disinfectant project for J.H. Hassinger in the amount of, is this the correct one, the $85,500?
Correct.
Okay.
So, what it is, it's the bond and the insurance that you're paying, but then we're holding back $4,500 of retainage. So that's how it comes to 85,500. So the project, we're waiting for shoring, and, cause, we can't, the contractor wanted to dig up the 30-inch, discharge pipe that, goes to the, chlorine contact chambers. Tomorrow we start chlorinating, until October 1st, May 1st, October 1st. So we're waiting on that, and hopefully by next week they'll start digging for the footings.
Anybody willing to make a motion on that one?
I move to approve pay request number 1.
I'll second.
We have a motion by Hollenberger, second by Egner. Any further discussion on this item? All in favor by saying aye? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 6, pay request number 2 for water wastewater treatment plant tertiary filters and disinfection project J.H. Hasker in the amount of $9,975.
So if you look at it, this is the general, thank you, 10,500, I'm gonna sit at the other table, 10,500, and then we held back $525 for retainage. So this was just general conditions. This was, they put in their job trailer, they, did some work and powered the job trailer and all the, getting ready for the start of the project.
Is it just me or those numbers not add up on that pay request?
So if you take, it was,
5,025 retainage.
Yeah.
So it's,
So you gotta add, oh, you gotta add that first one into the total then, right?
correct.
Okay,
And then you get a 95,475
yep,
plus the retainage, and then 85,500 is already approved.
yep, okay. Looking for a motion on that item.
Move to approve pay request number 2.
Second.
We have a motion by Hollenberger, second by Sandelbeck. Any further discussion on that item? All in favor by saying aye?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 7, Resolution 24-08, approving the Village of Jackson adjusted urban area boundary.
Sorry. Stop turning it off. So, last month, we talked about, the boundary. The village clerk, thank you, created the resolution 2408. That's in front of you, the whereases and the therefores, and so we can, have this approved and send it off to the DOT for approval.
And this is for that grant area, correct? This is the funding one that we changed up?
Correct.
Yeah,
For, Jackson, so it's, yeah, the two funding sources, one, we got pulled out of the West Bend urban area, and now we have our own. So we're creating our own until 2030 or the next census, and then we'll get probably pulled back into West Bend.
hopefully.
It's-
Hopefully.
Hopefully, right, because then it's just that pile of money that you're competing with Hartford, it's more local then.
Looking for a motion on Resolution 2408.
Move to approve resolution 2408.
Second.
We have a motion by Hollenberger, second by Engelhardt. Any further discussion on that item? All in favor by saying aye? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 8, Director of Public Works report.
So we're in the third week of reconstruction project in the Eagle Drive construction project, or the roundabout. It's been chaotic. I don't know if sometimes disappointed with the DOT of their response and stuff. We're working with them, trying to, safe passage for the kids at the intersection of Jackson Drive and Highway 60 to get to elementary school. I don't know if you saw that. 2 weeks ago, we talked about the safe passage was going to be the west side of Jackson Drive, and then 2 days later, they stuck the temporary lights right in the middle of the sidewalk when then they hit the primary, and then took the power out of, some of you probably were out of power for, hour. What's neat about We Energies, they're almost like a water utility now. They can feed from a different direction, so it didn't take them that long to supply power back, and then fix the line. So it wasn't marked. Good thing nobody got hurt when they were auguring through it, but, yeah, it's been interesting. People, the Jackson Police Department's doing a great job, trying to get people to stop going the wrong way. It's helping some businesses out, some other ones, like Eastside Mart, we're pushing the DOT to get the intersection back open, and once we move, it'll be interesting, because now we're gonna buy a couple dates again, so the railroad will be shut down. Right now, the scheduled date is right after the rummage sale is May 20th. That'll start, it'll probably take all week to do the crossing. Then Highway 60 will be back open again. So, and then June 3rd is still County Trunk Highway P from 60 down to Sherman Road. Right now, you'll see a sign that's on Maple and Sherman. It says that they changed the sign now, and it says that the intersection of P and Sherman will be shut down on May 6th, next Monday. It'll probably take And that's for We Energy gas going through for contaminated soils, so they need it to shut the intersection down, so.
Didn't they say like 3 weeks or something like that, or 2 weeks?
Yeah, they're hoping two, but we'll see. They're pushing. They're actually boring the pipe. So. Yeah. So it was one of those. I was hoping that our chaotic problem was last year, and this is the DOT. But it's. I just want to say that as your administrator keeps telling me too, the Village of Jackson residents deserve better, and I said I agree. We are fighting for the residents every day to get the DOT to step up to the plate to make it a better project, so.
Is the project on course?
Yes, I would, there's certain issues, one, they cry on the call when meaning one is, the We Energy poles are in the way, but they have been, so now MPS that was holding the poles down on Eagle Drive, has the, job now from We Energies. So hopefully next week they'll start, pulling poles. What we've been pleading with them is to disconnect the pole and get rid of the wire. So the wire, it's safe. If you go on, right across from, Main Street, Market and Coffeyville, you can see the wire that's exposed. Good thing it's in good condition, but otherwise it's a hazard ready to happen, so. But, yes. I don't wanna go into a great detail.
Yep.
You know, it's been challenging, so I thought I could do other things, but that's taking up most of my time. Mostly people complaining and trying to address their issues.
Quick question regarding the intersection of P and West and Sherman.
Yes.
Are there gonna be detour signs on how to get around that or not? Like Tiger Lily, I suppose you could cut through there unless they're boring and going back that far.
Yeah, so so I mean, that's a great question. So right now, they're sending everybody down Jackson Drive to Western to get, but now, the, public informational meeting is next Thursday for the county's portion of, 60, but then they'll introduce, I think they're gonna ship everybody to 45. But I mean, in your case, it's interesting, people are complaining even on Jackson Drive, because now 60 is eastbound, how do you get, the mostly if you have to get north, use Ridgeway, that you always be able to, because the intersection is not gonna be touched. But yeah, Tiger, that'll be interesting to see, people will be.
They won't appreciate it.
No, there isn't, so, yeah. So they haven't, that's a great question, and, the other portion, Sherman down to 145, the pre-construction meeting is the May 13th, and that's down in Waukesha, so I'll be attending that too, and then, once I have that, then we'll probably do a push to, especially to the trustees, and then put it on the website, try to, have the information. If you look at it, we keep pushing the DOT or Kurt Farrell on, we want weekly updates, and he finally, he said it'll be, what's it, Friday at 3 o'clock, and it came Monday at 8:30. So the publication, but, thank you, and, to Kurt that he finally came and we can actually push that out, and here's the information for people, so. We, so the barricade that was on the, east side, that has been moved now to west of, Mayfield, because people were driving around it, and then since you drove around it to get to Mayfield, hey, why don't I just go straight to get to Piggly Wiggly, and it was causing headaches for the, Jackson Police Department, so now that barricade has been pushed at Maple Road, so now they're gonna look at putting a message sandwich board up to actually tell people, hey, with an arrow, you have to turn. And I don't know, the next thing, maybe a glove would come out and hit you in the head and say, hey, you still went through, so I don't, we talked about that this morning of you know, how do you train the people? So we're in the third week, so hopefully it gets better. So the last thing I just want to share with you, it'll be interesting once we move to the north side or the westbound lane, and we got to train people to go eastbound in the westbound lane. So that'll be an interesting thing. I'm going to take vacation.
So it'll always be, the whole project eastbound only will be open?
That it'll always be eastbound open. That's when East Side Mart, John been gracious. He understands construction. He's down 60% and of the, you know, for customers and that. And you know, I told the DOT that we need to keep pushing along to get that open, and that's the plan. That hopefully, sorry,
You
I
double
turned it back
tapped it,
off.
I saw.
That to get that intersection back open. So, and you said about that, they are on schedule. To meet the May 1st deadline for the 48-inch pipes that went in. They have to. There's the end wall, so they'll divert to the flow because they had some rain. But otherwise, yeah, they're continuing on. They pulled our electric line out at by latest edition, so we had to have Will Surge come back in and fix it this afternoon. So, but they've been pouring concrete and moving along on the north side. So hopefully, fingers crossed that everything is on plan yet. So
Any questions for Brian on anything else on his report?
I have the walking lane speed limit thing, did we do a speed study or anything? Move on that? We had those constituents here, I don't know, 2 months ago.
Yeah, it's not on your thing, so we really shouldn't be
you
discussing
mean
it. If you look at the meeting from last month, it's in there.
Oh, it's in
yeah,
there.
it's in there.
Got it.
Yep. If not, I will make a motion to put the Director of Public Works report on file.
Second.
We have a motion by Heckendorf, second by Engelhardt. All in favor by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 9, citizens or village staff to address the Board of Public Works. Anybody want to speak? All right. If not, looking for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Sandebeck, second by Engelhardt to adjourn. All in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. And yes, to our visitors in the back, if you need me to sign something, you come right on up here.
They're like, yes, check it out.
Thanks for coming.